the Committee of Community and Business
That's what gave it away.
Development. The clerk, please call the roll.
All right, this is the Community Business Development. This is Monday, March 26, 2018. We're at 6 p.m. I have Councilor DeFlorio.
Here.
I have Councilor Capone. Here. I have Councilor McKinnon.
Here.
And I have Councilor Hanlon.
If we could please,
Members present, we do have a quorum.
we do have a quorum, please stand. If the audience could please stand with us and salute the flag. Clerk, please read the first item on the agenda.
All right, the first item on the agenda, this is ordinance offered by Council Peter Napolitano as president. New subsections be accepted regarding the purchase of annual meter stickers.
If I could please have a motion to lay this on the table until the clerk comes. So we motion to lay item number 1 on the table. Please read. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Clerk, please read item number 2.
All right, item number 2. This is order up by Council Peter Napolitano as president. This is a petition for a new second-class motor dealer license. Eastern Auto Sales, Revere Beach Parkway.
We have the petitioner before us.
Counsel McKinnon, is the petitioner in the audience?
Could you?
Eastern Auto Sales. Is anybody in the audience for Eastern Auto Sales? Make a motion to lay it on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. You have laid item number 2 on the table. Clerk, please read item number 3.
All right, item number 3. This order up by Council Peter Napolitano as president. This is a petition for a livery license in Rockford Incorporated at 7A Bucknam Street.
Invite the petitioner before us,
Is the
please.
petitioner here? Could you please come up and, is that other mic on?
Just push the button up on the mic.
The
That's
one,
all
the other
set.
one's already on.
Just, it's right here on the back side, facing me. There you go. Yeah,
If you could please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Olga, 7A Bucknam Street.
My name-
Olga Rotaro.
My name is Vitaly Rotaro, 7 Bucknam Street, 7A Bucknam Street.
Okay, thank you. Counselor? have a
thank
question?
you. Through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the invited guests. What he's trying to do, just give us a brief overview of what you want to do here.
We opened a company, it's about 3 years old, trying to operate everything the right way. He's working for Uber and Lyft, and he has a black account, a commercial vehicle license. And it looks like they all need something from the city allowing us to do business.
Okay. And so you're looking for a license to operate there? Is that what you're looking for? 7A Bucknam Street?
Yeah, we just have a vehicle to be parked there and an office for all our records. There are no other employees. It's me as the president of the company and my husband as the driver, just one vehicle.
Okay. And let me see here. Is it going to be parked on, or the vehicle is going to be parked on street or off street?
No, we
No.
have a designated backyard parking for this vehicle.
And this is at your dwelling, your house?
Yes,
Okay.
we own the property.
Can I have the city clerk before us for a minute? I just have to ask him a question.
Could we have the city clerk up? Do I have it in the motion?
That's the motion.
All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it.
Through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the city clerk.
Yes, sorry. City Clerk Sergio Canelio.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any issues with the license?
So this is new. If I can briefly get into it.
Yep.
But last year, sometime actually at the end of 2016, it was passed in 17, our former city clerk, Mike Matarazzo, came up with this proposal for both a taxi and livery license. We passed them pretty much simultaneously. we felt that there was a need to have a livery license because, one, our ordinances kind of stated that we should, and we didn't. We just gave out business certificates, which didn't track them very well. Two, the business certificates, along with the letter for the airport, we stopped doing because we didn't feel it was the right way to do business. So we thought this was a much cleaner way, a much better way. The only oversight that we did was that we left it, I think, all in your hands with individual licenses at homes. And I don't think, we have almost 100 of these. I don't think it's something that you want on your agenda every meeting, because, you know, you're going to have a couple a meeting over the course of the year. I think it should be, you know, in my opinion, left to me, and then if we have an issue, I bring it to you. Only larger livery companies should probably come before the city council. But currently, the way it's written, we had to come before you. That's why you see them in front of you. We are working on a tweak to this license, and it'll be before the legislative committee in the coming months. But it was necessary. We have over 100 of these. We needed some way to track them. Now they give us insurance paperwork before a business certificate. They fill out a business certificate, and they're in business. I mean, I don't have much paperwork that I am required by law with a business certificate to take. They're going to give me an ID, say they live in the city. Now I can get insurances. They can tell me what kind of vehicle, bonding, and et cetera. And I think it is a much better way. This is the first license that has come up when they came in for a business certificate. And this will continue. So until we change the license, you are going to see a few of these, unless you make a legislative order that gives me the authority. You could also do that, something that I will be probably requesting.
Through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the clerk, are there restrictions on these?
Yeah, so they're operating out of a home. They have a business certificate still, and they have a home occupant permit, which restricts them on parking on the street overnight, the size of the vehicle.
They have to have off-street parking.
They have to
correct?
have off-street parking.
And are they limited to a number of vehicles they can have?
2.
They can only have 2 per
In
license?
a residential district, yep.
Okay.
Residential district, it's all governed by what we call a home occupant permit.
Mm-hmm.
It is signed off by the building department. They inform me what the rules are. There's a bunch of criteria, and I'll pass it around to you, so I have the requirements. There are all different restrictions. You can't advertise except for a little 2x2 sign in the window. You can't put lawn signs. I mean, you can go above these rules, but you have to petition the Board of Appeals. So you have to work within these rules unless you're going to go before the Board of Appeals.
In your, through you, Madam Chairwoman, to the city clerk, in your professional opinion, this is all set? These
Yeah,
are-
no, I agree with what they're doing. I mean, they came right to me. They tried to do the right thing. They
Sure.
didn't know of the licensing, but they came to the office. That is the right place to start, the city clerk's office, for nearly, 80% of the licenses in the city start with me and us. And they did the right thing. They have all the licensures. I saw what vehicle they have. I think it's a Lincoln, or no, Cadillac Escalade. So they gave me all
Nice
the
car.
paperwork. He has the black car license through Uber, so that's why he needs this.
Mhm.
He's running a legitimate business, as I can see, and unless there's any issues, then I'll bring it to you.
And you'll be investigating any issues?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a better way to track, like I said.
All right.
Now I'll have a license folder for all of these licenses, so when I go out and do my regular inspections, I can scoot around the city, and also I'm going to be informing and working with the police department. They know of these licenses now, so I really work well with them.
All right.
Things are going to go well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Counselor Hanlon?
Thank you. In his speech, he answered one of my questions anyway. And
I talk a lot.
the other question I
Sure,
was-
talk a lot.
What are we going
We
to
know.
do about the other licenses that are already in existence?
So they're called business certificates. As they expire, I'm going to license them this way. I am not going to call them in because they already have what we felt at the time was the legal way to do it. So I'm not going to change that system.
They're only annual licenses, right?
No, business certificates for every 4 years, but we had a moratorium for 2 years. So we should be seeing the majority of them this year and next year. Michael and I did not issue any in 2017 and half of 2016 at your bequest.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman.
You're welcome. Counselor Capone?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to our city clerk. So right now, whatever we have on the books with the requirements, what specifically are they? I think you kind of read
Oh,
through them
this-
quick.
yeah,
There's a lot of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
but,
Is there,
you
is
know,
there?
it writes down suspension and revocation.
Okay.
Process for it. Currently, before it was just a business certificate.
Yep.
It tells you the livery licensure, the licensure for the driver. You have to put a license in the front plaque, in the front of the car, so we know that they're a city licensed vehicle. They're open to inspections by myself or the police department, which before we didn't have. So there's inspections that'll be done in June of each year when they do this. So it's very in-depth.
So
And
the
again, I'm
current,
still
the current term on the, are they annual?
They're annual licenses.
Okay. And the specific language in there that if there's any violations that could be pulled?
Suspension or revocation of license, it is specified. It's actually almost a full
Okay.
page.
And in terms of insurance, well, inspection of vehicles to ensure that you've got well-maintained, quality vehicles on the road, that's part of that?
Yep, so in June of each year, they'll be inspected. This license will start coming up in June. They're a little bit early, but because it's new, we're going to
Okay.
extend it by a few months. They'll get a 1-year and 2-month license. I'm not gonna make them come back up in June.
Okay.
Because, you know, the transition period. But every June, the taxis and livery will go to the police, and either the police will inspect them themselves, or I'm working with the chief now. Either they'll do it or they'll have a company do it.
Okay.
But I believe they will.
Individuals applying, and I apologize, I'm talking to him, this is a new process for us. You're client number one. So that's why we have all these questions. So this isn't a personal inquiry, it's just the guidelines and the requirements, and then eventually we'll get to the personal inquiries. But in terms of individuals who are seeking this, is there a requirement for Corey? Any checks like that?
Every licensure of the city council, I make sure there is a
Okay.
query check.
Good. Okay.
Whether it states it in the law or not, I request them.
And are these licenses individual specific, or are they company?
These?
The ones that we're going to be issuing?
Yep, so there are company, and then if they're going to have multiple drivers, the driver has to be licensed, just like a taxi.
Okay.
So we have Malden Taxi, he owns 25 licenses, but he has 25 drivers. He gets a license, and then each driver gets a license.
Okay, and every individual that would be coming on board, they would be Corey checked as
They'd be
well?
Cory checked.
Okay.
They'd give me make sure that their license are up to date annually, and we'll do the same type of license as we do for taxis.
Okay.
He is his own driver, so he's just licensing himself. You're not gonna do both, but if they have multiple drivers, they're gonna do both.
And currently, within a residential area, it's 2. Anything above 2?
Yeah, zoning board of appeals, you
Okay.
can appeal anything.
Yeah,
But through the
sure.
ZBA. So if they want a larger sign, they want a lawn
Okay.
sign, it's all through the ZBA.
So it may make sense that as long as we have a set criteria in place and a organization with X number of employees or X number of vehicles could be streamlined, handled through the clerk's office.
That's what was my
But then
intention.
anything larger than that, or
agree.
if there's any issue or concern,
Always
it should
comes back
come
to you.
up to the council. That's probably something that, you know, I'd be agreeable with. We just have to make sure that we have everything ironed out.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know exactly what's in there, so.
No, you're going to get copies
Yeah,
of these
exactly.
this evening.
So, yeah, I don't have any other questions, but thank you, I appreciate the
You're very
information.
welcome. Thank you.
And
Before
I-
we
I
excuse
could to
with
yeah.
with the customary
Yeah.
thanks, I have one quick question. Now, who did you say the president was?
Young lady.
I am the president.
Well, that's not what the papers say here, that we have in front of us. So
Oh,
is that
sorry, no, I am the
This-
treasurer and everything else, and the secretary. He's the president.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's what we have here, so I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah,
it. I
that's
just
from
wanted
the
to make sure
Secretary
it
of
wasn't a
State's office.
clerical error. Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Now, this gets referred out, whichever way it gets referred out, and then at 7 o'clock, we have our regular meeting, and everybody else has to vote, all the other councils have to also vote on this, just to have you know the process.
We have to stay around.
Yeah, they want to know if they have
Okay.
to stay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you're welcome to stay, or you're welcome to go out and have a cup of coffee and come back after 7, a little bit after 7, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Counselor Capone?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My recommendation, I don't know what the body wants to do. This is the very first one that we're issuing, and I think we're setting precedent. And if there are 100 in queue already, I think we have to be very careful on how we're doing this. I am not 100% sure what the requirements are. I know that our clerk read off some, and there's a lot. The recommendation that I would make is that we request further time in committee. That way, we can take a look at everything, get some sort, make sure that we're comfortable with the ground level, that we can have our clerk handling, you know, the smaller issues, and then put an ordinance together for something bigger.
But is this something that he's not gonna be able to drive? I mean, we don't wanna take business away from him, so we can
Yeah.
also
Well-
give him maybe a temporary for 30
Yeah.
days until we straighten
Yeah,
everything
I'm not
out.
sure if he's, well, you know, it might be good to have our clerk back, if we could.
Yeah, I wanna make sure that, you know, the person is eligible to go out and work.
Ask that question.
Sorry. I didn't hear you.
No,
Sorry, I
okay,
was
no,
talking
that's-
with the other
thank you.
counselors.
So what I had mentioned to the committee is that this is the first one, we've got like 100 in queue. Whatever we do, we're kind of setting precedents, so I want
Right.
to make sure we do it right.
Yep.
So I'm not sure exactly what's in there. Are these individuals able to do their Lyft and their Uber and all that? It's just delivery they're not able to do, right?
Yeah, so from what I understand from Uber, and maybe Lyft, but Uber has a black car. They say, so that's like a nicer, higher-end vehicle that it's a lot different rate. And to do that, you need a license from the local municipality.
Okay, so,
That's why, right? Is that what the understanding?
sure, if we
yeah,
could
you can
please have
clarify
the
it.
petitioners
Yeah.
back, that would be,
So everything, there is a document required by the airport. It's
So does the
the
airport.
city permission for us.
Right.
It's a letter that we obtained already 3 years ago when we started the business. We just came, he gave us a letter say that Everett does not have any special requirements about delivery. And then the business certificate, we obtained that with no issues. They expired, and the airport asked us to come back to the city and get new ones. And we came, and the gentleman said, sorry, we can't give you those anymore. The city had a new rule about this. We're going to retrieve it. He actually took our letter back and says, I'm going to have to hold on this. So now we're just at the mercy of seeing what the city is doing with this.
okay.
Now I remember. So
And-
yes,
and
it's
so-
that letter that I told you about from the
Right.
airport that we do not issue anymore.
Okay. So, and I guess that's Massport, is that?
It's a
Yes.
rule by
Okay.
Massport.
And so, Mr. Clerk, in terms of this particular application, have you reviewed it? Have you had a chance to look at the
Mm-hmm. I've looked
vehicle?
at all the paperwork. All of our licenses are in order. They have a valid Massachusetts driver's license. Their insurances through the company are in order. The car hasn't been inspected is the only thing from the police department, which we're doing in June. It's going to be a rotation of inspections in June. I don't think we're set up for it, but again, because we have a new licensor in this and taxi, and it's all brand new.
Sure.
And,
And we clearly don't want to hurt these individuals.
Right.
If they want to operate business, one of the things that's been thrown around here is possibly a temporary, subject to the inspection of the vehicle.
That's-
And then we work out the kinks of whatever we've got going on.
like every license, you issue it, and you can always come back and say, so you're going to put that clause in. You're still going to issue it for a year, because I don't believe you can issue it for less.
Okay.
But you can always bring them back, and it's in regards, you're going to request that the city clerk make sure in June that they get their inspection in the order, in your motion, that the city clerk make sure they get their inspection and reports back to the council by the end of June. That would be what I would request, but if you feel more comfortable that way. Is that okay, Counselor?
Counselor Hanlon.
Our whole concern was a whole package, not just one.
Oh, no, I know, but this was passed by the city council in 2016, well, 2017, so last year.
The same one?
This is, I didn't write this. This was passed by this branch of city council along with Clerk Matarazzo.
Okay.
Counselor Hanlon, any further questions?
I'm sorry, thank you.
Counselor McKinnon?
For you, to the city clerk. So we don't want to set precedents. Obviously, that's why we're.
No, I understand.
This is the first one that we've had before us, so we don't want to set precedents.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to make sure that everything's in line and in order
I
with
agree
that
with that.
package. So that'll give us time if we actually grant for a year with a review in June.
Yeah, you always review. You can always revoke a license. You can always bring them back.
Yep.
I have authority as city clerk to issue cease and desist orders if there's something that
We
is
just don't want 100
incorrect.
showing up, and then.
No,
saying that
I
we did
understand
this
what you're
first
saying.
one, You know what I'm saying? So.
I understand that you're setting a precedent. It's new for all of us, don't forget.
Okay.
I mean, this was left for me in the
So-
middle of everything else that,
So under your recommendation, we should allow it for the first year so we don't end up actually hurting this first one that came before us, so they can operate,
Yeah.
get the letter that they need for Massport. And I know the letter that you're talking about, it's
Yeah.
kind of lengthy and depth.
Meanwhile, since you revoked it, we can't do business at the
I know.
airport. We can't drop
Oh,
clients
yeah.
or pick
And that's
up
probably
flights.
most of your clientele.
and I revoked it because I had to, because now I can't lie and say that we don't have regulations. We do have regulations. So, I mean, that's pretty much all the letter stated. There were no regulations, and now there are. And I can't write a letter that says that. That'd be breaking the law.
Thank you, we're going to make a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, my recommendation is, obviously, these people have been working, they haven't been giving us any trouble, and it's not fair just because we're not ready.
You're supposed to be the chairman, okay? Make a motion, favorable action, we grant it to them for 1 year period.
Subject to the inspection of the vehicle and, further review by this committee in terms of
In all due
any other.
respect, I can make comments as a chairperson.
No, you can't.
Well, I think because you were leaning towards a motion.
No,
I
I
think that's
wasn't
what you were
leaning towards a
saying.
motion,
Yeah.
I was just leaning, saying that these people are, you know what I mean? That we
put your
don't
2
have
cents in.
something, like I said, we don't
Yeah.
have something, it's our fault. That's basically what I'm saying. So the motion is, do I have a second?
Yeah.
The motion is favorable action, and to make sure that we put something in there for the clerk to have the car inspected in June.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Please read item number 1.
We, motion to take item 1 from the table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Item number 1, this ordinance offered by Council Peter Napolitano as president. New subsections be accepted regarding the purchase of annual meter stickers.
We have this, the parking clerk here. Would you like to invite her up?
Yes. Motion to have
Do
the
I have-
parking
do I
clerk
have
up
a
before us,
second?
as well as
Right behind
chief
you.
of staff.
Please, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
I can see, Good, you didn't say anything bad.
If you could please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Kevin O'Donnell, Chief of Staff, Mayor DiMaria.
Joanne, that has to be, that light has to turn green, I'm sorry.
Just push the button.
Thank you.
The button. There you go, Joanne.
Joanne Gregory, parking clerk, City of Everett.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, through you. Let me see. How many discounted meter stickers were expected to be provided and approximate locations where the stickers would be utilized?
Okay, so currently, approximately 6, and it's near the high school on the Broadway area. It's
Where the drop-off is?
the insurance agency,
across.
Rocco Longo Insurance Agency.
Okay. And there's 6?
Yeah, I believe we only have 6 of them issued, or going to issue after this.
And what's the discount on them?
We discounted them just about half price because they're annual stickers, and if they're buying them all at once, it saves us on paperwork. Like their monthly meter, you can buy them per month, or you can get them yearly. So if you're getting them yearly, it's going to save us from carrying them on the books every month after month after month, and a lot less work.
So it'd be better off to do the yearly one,
Right,
annuals?
an annual, right. But not everybody can do an annual.
Because of the, how much are they?
For an annual, it's $330. We don't charge for December. So it's like $30 a month. So like a lot of the banks, the staff members will purchase them monthly, $30 a month.
Okay. How many, I mean, so we're only looking for 6 for that one company? Is that what it is?
Well, because we're offering this now, Mass General has said that they were looking into also doing it that way.
So there's going to be more
I
companies coming on?
think so. And I don't think it's going to be like overwhelming, but I think you'll see a few other companies benefiting from it.
Anybody else other than, what, Mass General?
There was that, was it New Boston Intel?
Yes, we expect that there'll be more, if this is allowed. It's more of an incentive for the companies as well, too, to kind of just do it one-stop shopping, so to speak, whether it's the individual or the company's purchasing 5 or more, it might
So if they go,
incentivize.
through you, Madam Chairwoman, if they go to the, if they come to you, Joanne, Mrs. Gregory, and they say, I'm sorry, I called you by your first name. They say,
can.
okay, thank you. So I'm privileged now. But if they come to you as a company and they say, we have 5 or more spots that we need, that's when the half price sticker comes out for them, for that company?
Right, but we're not reserving spots, we're just issuing them a meter.
Just issuing the
Right.
parking
Right, it's
permit.
kind of too, because the mom and dads, you know, you don't want to gouge them,
Yeah, so,
so.
now, with the mom and dads, now speaking of that, how do we operate with them? Reverse from the...
Well, that's kind of how this came about.
Can you explain a little bit of it on that?
Yeah, like.
So we're not hurt, reason being is they're watching now, and I don't want them to be calling later to say, well,
Well,
if you're
again,
doing it for them, we're
because
gonna
they're
do it for us.
purchasing it annually.
Okay,
They're purchasing annual, which is much different than a monthly. Monthly, like I said, we have to carry them on the books.
yeah,
It's $30 a month. Every month, something changes, like, for example, if we do, say, 60 for Eagle Bank,
sure,
and this employee is not using this car anymore, so the plate changed, or this employee has her husband's car this month.
yeah,
So they're always making changes. So it's always redoing the paperwork, doing and redoing.
so now it's just an annual, and then there's a half fee for
Right.
that annual, so it's sort of, you're working with them,
Right.
of course, now. Now, with mom and dad's shops, we'll say, they're still doing the 30 per month for like, say, up to 2 or 3.
Well, anybody's eligible, but again, it would have to be, the annual. That's the key thing, is that it's the annual. And we do have a form that they fill out when they're purchasing their stickers. If anybody was interested in seeing the
No,
form.
that's fine,
No, you're fine. Oh, yeah?
I'm good with it. Now, do we offer any type of discount to, say, you know, the 2 and 3s, the mom and pop stores that have been here?
No,
forever?
we're saying 5 and more.
Okay, so it's 5 or more now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Chairwoman.
Council Capone.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to our invited guests. So at the present time, we have 6 that are issued or requested?
We have 6 requested.
Okay, the same company? or-
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of the requirements for these stickers, can anyone get them? Or do you have
Yeah.
to live in the city, have a business city, or
Well,
can someone from Revere come in and say, I
Yes.
want to
Yep.
get? So,
if they work in Everett and they want to park at a meter, like I had a woman, I think she was working for, I don't know, somewhere here in the square, and she called me up and she said, I'm getting tickets every day. Is there anything I can do? And I said, yeah, you can purchase a monthly meter sticker or a yearly meter sticker. She was like, oh, my God, thank you.
Okay.
But she doesn't live in
so
Everett. She's
some
not from
connection
Everett.
to the city?
Yeah, a lot of
If you
them
don't
that
live
work
here,
for
you
the
work here.
banks, the ones
Okay.
that work for the banks, they don't live in Everett. They're not living in Everett, but they're parking in Everett
Do they have to verify employment within the city?
with that,
Okay.
with
good.
that form.
Okay, and then the 5 or more, the discount, when number 5 kicks in, does it discount 1 through 5, or is it 5, 6, and up?
It's going to discount them all.
Okay. And one thing that we were talking about at committee before, one of the reasons why we laid it over, I know that we have meters in different locations around the city, and some of them are more conducive to areas located near a municipal lot, and some aren't. And we think like maybe down in the square, down this area, if folks wanted to get the meters, the passes, the annual passes, it would be beneficial to all of the businesses in the area if maybe we had a certain section in a municipal lot. So instead of taking a spot right in front of a business on Broadway, they could go in a municipal lot. Sure, it's inconvenient, they gotta take a little walk, but the whole idea is to open up the space so people can come and go and do business. So that was one thing that we were thinking about. I don't know what your thoughts on that would be. Like I said, not every section of the city has a municipal lot.
Right.
But for those where we do have areas where there are municipal lots, that may not be a bad thing to do, to designate a certain area where you can use those stickers rather than any place, because you're gonna have folks that are gonna wanna be convenient. If I work in this building 5 feet away, I wanna park there. But then I take that space up 24 hours a day, other businesses in the area don't get the benefit from it. But if we could locate them in the parking lot, that space is now open, people can come and go, do business, and help the business community in general. So that's one of the reasons why we kind of laid it over. We wanted to hear from you guys and get some
Well,
feedback
it is
on
true,
that.
too, that now with the new meters, you can pretty much park anywhere, and the handhelds will read it. So as long as it's paid, it doesn't matter where you're parked, as long as you've paid.
Okay. And so you could, that's what.
But
that
most
defeats that whole
businesses, they
purpose.
want to reserve the spots in front of, no, they do.
It's a double-edged sword. You want to reserve your spot so you have somewhere to park so you can go to your business, but then if
Right.
you're parked in that spot, your customers can't get to your
Yeah.
business. So I guess it all depends on how you want to run a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a philosophical, but just a case in point, this morning, I had an outside appointment before, so I was here a little after 9, and I'm down by Santander Bank at a space. The municipal lots, everything was full. Yeah, so
That's
it's,
tough. So if you do
catch
designate an
22.
area and you do have an area that's full, now your sticker becomes defunct. So, okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
No, that was my question about the parking in front of one's business that Councilor Capone took care of.
What's your pleasure?
Excuse customary comment?
Excuse the customary thanks, thank you for
Thank you.
all
appearing.
right, thank you.
Favorable action?
Second.
Favorable action, do have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
I'm opposed.
Oh, one opposed.
Can you take item number 2 from the table, Madam Chair?
Second motion.
Motion to take item number 2, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Clerk, please, I read item number 2.
Item number 2, honor by Council Peter Napolitano as president. Petition for a new second-class motor deal license, Easton Auto Sales at Revere Beach Parkway.
Council McKinnon.
Madam Chairwoman, could we have the petitioners before us?
Is the petitioner in the audience? If you could please come up.
Could we have the city clerk before us as well?
Have the city clerk come up. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. City clerk. Could you please turn
Hello.
that mic on? That light has to turn green and state your
Just
name
push
and
the button down.
address.
Yeah.
Hello,
Okay. State your name and address, please.
Jimmy Mamaloi.
And also for you.
Joe's Alencar, 1934 Revere Beach Parkway, Everett, Mass.
Council McKinnon.
Madam Chairman, through you to our invited guests. So you're looking for this license, and just explain a little bit of what you're trying to do with it and the location.
There you go.
Yeah, just help my sister. I'm in the finance division.
She's the president?
She's the
Yes.
president.
Okay.
Trying to do the same way with Mr. Caviello's before. So just trying to just take the business and just sell cars, you know. Just make sure the business is good well, you know, so. that's what
Do
we're
you,
trying.
how many spots are down there?
It's eight
Six?
spots.
6 to 8?
Eight.
Eight?
Eight spots.
Eight
And
spots.
It's 15 total. It's 8 for selling and 4 for customer and 3 for our employees.
Okay. And are you going to be fixing these vehicles?
No.
On-site, or you have that off-site?
I have usually the guy from the gas station next to the fire department. He usually fix all my cars. So I bring,
Central Fire?
yeah.
On
right
Broadway?
Yeah.
Okay,
So he usually fix all my cars. I bring it to him.
okay. And you'll be selling, so you have 8 spots to sell?
Yes.
Okay. And to our city clerk, have we ever had any issues before on the other license? Or-
Yes.
Okay. And what were those issues?
Over cars.
Overstocking of the cars?
I've had this discussion with Joe, because he's currently the licensee. Mr. Caviello is the licensee, but he leases from him. He's just, they're subleases. And so we have had discussions about maintaining the property differently. ISD and I have, the department, have both been down there, had discussions with Joe. I've had other issues with him in the past, but he's overall, in the more recent, been good about dealing with the issues that we have. Nothing very major, but there have been a few issues, especially with overage on vehicles. I think they're putting new signs up.
Is that from
Yes.
the, excuse me, is that from, through you, Madam Chairwoman, is that from the old licensee?
But he's actually the licensee. Mr. Caviello's the licensee, in essence, because he owns the license, but he subleases to him. Now he's still subleasing to him, but he is gonna take control of the
Okay.
license. I have a letter from, and Mr. Clerk Burley has the letter there that states that once, if you pass this license, he will relinquish the license, because we have no more licenses. So it's pretty much a transfer.
Transfer.
In essence, with doing it the most legal way.
So my question to you, Mr. Clerk, is, so this individual here that's before us tonight, those issues were with them?
Yeah.
They were with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So why the overcrowding down there then, when you knew you shouldn't be doing it?
Yeah, because some of the cars, sometimes I clean it up and ship to the auctions, and some is no good. So I have a little extra cars, but now it's, you know what I mean, everything's 8 is there on it. Because I had a little extra before, but I clean it up and make sure everything is go to the auction, and that's why there's a little extra cars there. But I took everything off as soon as, I put everything to order.
It's not because you're coming up before your license, right?
No.
Okay, so
That's
that's
the
not the
truth.
reasoning behind it?
Uh,
That you're cleaning your act up now? Is that what it is?
No, that's the reason. I clean sometimes the cars. Like, sometimes people trade in cars. I don't have nowhere to put it. I have to wait till the auction coming up so I can clean it up, make sure it's good, and ship to the auction, because I won't sell, any bad cars there sometimes, So sometimes a little issue. I have to ship to the auction.
So you know that once the clerk goes by there and sees additional cars that are outnumbering the 8 slots that you have, they're going to be questioning it, and then we could pull your license at any time.
It's up to $1,000 a day fine, by Mass General Law.
So,
The minimum 100, up to 1,000.
so if we had this issue before, what makes us not think you're going to do the same thing again, once you get the license?
I mean, you can just drive by, is everything to order, whatever the issue I have in that day, I missed the inspection down there. So I took everything up in 2 hours. I told them what's going on, so I have to wait the next days to bring the car to the auctions, so.
Well, reason being is why we're kind of a little hesitant is because it was you that actually did that.
Yeah.
You were the operator of it before, and you had overage on those, on the parking lot,
Yeah,
and you knew that you shouldn't have.
yeah, because I have 2 from trading cars, and I have 2 cars extra, so I have 4 together, so that's why I shipped to the auction,
Well, I don't know. I think that our rules are put into play to be observed, and if you want that license, you need to observe those type of rules that we're putting in play for you.
Of course,
So,
definitely, yeah.
we're not going to be sitting by idly saying, oh, okay, well, he only has 2, 3 more additional cars on the lot. We're not doing that either.
Yeah.
And the rules are going to get a little stringent for everybody around here. So, and we're going to be sending out individuals to actually go look and
Yeah.
check this
I
out.
do
So
spot check.
at any given point, they can show up and just say,
Definitely,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you.
Before you leave, please give us your business card.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to our guests, how long have you been operating down there?
Problem now is problem 6 months
Okay, in total?
total, yeah.
Total? So, and to our clerk, they've only been there for 6
Yeah,
months?
Mr. Coviello always owned the license, and he just subleased the property sometime last year. I mean, I couldn't
Okay.
give you the exact date. I want to say maybe October.
Okay, and then during that time, how many times have you had violations with the overage of vehicles?
I went down there twice.
Twice? Okay. Other than the overage of vehicles, what are we looking at in terms of cleanliness?
ISD has some just issues with the signage, but I know he's rectifying that. They
Okay.
don't like the sign that's closer to the street. I don't know if you know the property, but when you're coming up before NTB, is it?
Yes, yeah.
They had this rollout sign right near the sidewalk.
Okay.
It really didn't look good. I believe they got a new awning.
I put
on
everything
the
in
other-
the
On
back,
the other
yeah.
side, on the inside. I mean, they are cleaning it up. And anytime they've had an issue, I mean, he works with me overall.
Okay.
I mean, I don't like having to go down there, and
Yeah.
it's not my thing to issue violations.
Right.
I want to work with the businesses, and I do give warnings, it's not my,
And you said that the leeway you have is 100 to 1,000 a day?
yes.
Okay. So here's what I would say. This city is business-friendly, and we want to see people operate their business, but we want to see you do it in a responsible manner. So in my understanding is that if this is granted, it's going to be a straight transfer.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
you know, there's
relinquishment,
no-
then it'll transfer over, it'll be squarely in their hands.
Correct. Mr. Coviello
Okay.
is still the owner of the property.
Okay.
And they have a lease
All right.
that's also attached to the package.
And you have to understand you have 8 spots. So if extra cars come in and you want to clean them up for auction, It can't happen there if you've already got 8. You're gonna have to find somewhere else to do that.
We do allow, that one rotation, because,
Okay.
you have.
Okay, well,
one comes
you're
in
gonna be the
and
one
cleans,
inspecting it,
but
so
if
you'll
it's-
know.
If it's multiple over, then you're just abusing it. Sometimes,
Right.
one comes in and one's
Sure.
going out the next day.
Sure.
We understand that.
Okay.
I'm lenient.
Right, okay.
It's if you're.
Good, well, it's your
abusing-
discretion when you're going out there, and that's
Right.
fine. So I just want to make it very clear to you folks that we will work with you, but we need you to respect your requirements.
Of course.
And if you don't respect your requirements, we'll have no hesitation whatsoever to pull that license back. And I'll go a step further, Mr. Clerk, and I'll say they're very well aware of what the requirements are.
Yes.
So if there's a violation, it's not $100, it's $1,000, because you're very well aware that you can only have 8. So we will work with you, if you work with us, you abide by the rules, and we wish you well. And as long as you keep your business clean, the signage issues and the overage is not a problem, we're not going to have a problem, and wish you a lot of success. But if we have continuations of what there has been there, the license will be pulled, and I don't think you'll get it back. So I just want to be very clear about that.
We
So,
agree.
thank you very much, I appreciate all the
Just so you
questions.
know, counselors, just so you know that we'll also be adding in the next license session, I have a new program that I'm using. We're going to be writing all of the rules between state law and municipal law and our rules in a packet for each licensee. And they will sign off every time they get their license stating that they received that packet, so they are aware of MGL, city ordinances, and city rules. That way, you can't plead that you didn't know. You knew because you're going to sign it, take that packet with you. I've learned it from other departments do it here, our licensing board does that. So I'm going to be using the same regulations starting next license season. So they will get it, and if they have a violation, they can't say they didn't know.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairman. That was exactly my question, and that was that, we have a list of violations that they could possibly have, and I wanted to know, you're making that list available to all these people, and I guess.
I mean, I'm working on that. I mean, obviously, it's on the city's internet, and we do have these meetings, especially for new licensees.
Okay.
But they will be in a packet going forward.
No, you answered it before I asked, so
Okay.
thank you very much.
The question I have is, what's the name of the licensee? Who's applying for this license?
I believe she's the president.
Me.
From what the paperwork says, it says her name.
I
So
am.
it's only her
So
name?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be running the day-to-day operation from
Yeah.
the understanding that that they explained to me. She's the president and CEO, he's management, but, so
Okay,
he'll
so
be
we
the
need,
day-to-day.
the clerk needs his business card,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll bring it.
Okay, so, excuse with the customary thanks.
Thank you.
And we will be voting on this at 7 o'clock with the entire city council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse with the customary thanks.
Thank you.
Recommendation,
On the piece, favorable action
Second.
in light of the discussion we had this evening.
favorable action in light of the discussion we had this evening. I do have a second. Yes,
Well, the stipulations are what they are. They're already there. So they're aware of what the stipulations are, and, well, that's discretion of our clerk, but my vote would be, you know about it. So if it happens again, up a level. So,
okay, so I do have a second. All in favor?
all right,
All opposed?
move to adjourn?
I'm a no vote also, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Do we
So it goes
have,
out with no recommendation?
I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Okay. Motion to
Make a
adjourn?
motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.